Madian Wapanya Hakwadam, rise and face the east. Hallelujah.
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 Who's the power?
Yahweh the power.
Who's the power?
Yahweh the power.
Bahasham.
Yahweh Shai.
Bahasham.
Yahweh Shai.
The blessing of the Sabbath. Repeat the Hebrew only. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, to give to us the Sabbath day in peace. Thank you, so be it. Amen. Barakatha Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Hawa'ah, Athanawa, Hashabath, Bahashalom, Tawada, Tanyad, Amen. The calling of the tribes. Tribes to the east. Yah, what's up?
What's up?
Banyamyan. Dan. Shema. Yasharella. Yahweh. Ahrahyahla. Yahweh. Akkad. Sar. Turn. Tribes to the south. Shemai 1. Yashakar. Zabala 1. Shemai. Yasharella. Yahweh. Ahrahyahla. Yahweh. Akkad. Sar. Turn. Tribes to the west. Gad, Ashar, Naphtaliah, Shemai, Yasharella, Yahweh, Ahrahyahla, Yahweh, Akkad. Sar. Turn. Tribes to the north. Rohabon, Yahweh, Loya, Shemai, Yasharella, Yahweh, Ahrahyahla, Yahweh, Akkad. Sar. Turn. Shemai, Yasharella, Yahweh, Ahrahyahla, Yahweh, Akkad. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh is our power, Yahweh is one. Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, Tawada, Tanyad. Amen. The blessing of the Torah. Repeat the Hebrew only. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, to give to us the law. Barakatha Yahweh. Bahasham. Yahweh Shai. Hawa'ah. Athanawa. HaTorah. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, to give to us the light to see. Barakatha Yahweh. Bahasham. Yahweh Shai. Hawa'ah. Athanawa. Ha'awar. Lara'ah. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives to us the ram's horn to call the people. Barakatha Yahweh. Bahasham. Yahweh Shai. Hawa'ah. Athanawa. Ha'ayo. Lakra'ah. Ha'ayam. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives to us the olive oil to anoint Israel. Barakatha Yahweh. Bahasham. Yahweh Shai. Hawa'ah. Athanawa. Hashaman. Zayath. Lamashak. Yasharella. Tawada. Tanyad. Amen. The Ten Commandments in the Lashwan Kodash. Repeat the Hebrew only. La'ah, Yahaya, Lakah, Alahariam, Alkariam, Alpanya. La'ah, Thaisha, Lakah, Pasal, Wala'ah, Thibadam, La'ah, Gakwakwath, Sham, Yahweh, Bashawa, Zakar, Hayawam, Hashabath, Lakwadashua, Kabad, Abaka, Wa'amaka. La'ah, Yatazachaaq, La'ah, Thana'ak, La'ah, Thaganab, La'ah, Nainor, Shakur, La'ah, Thakamad, Kal, Asharai, Lara'aika, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahushai, Recuerda, Yad, Amen. The Ten Commandments in English, the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 1.
And Yahweh spake all these words, saying, I am the Most High Yahweh thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other powers before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Most High Yahweh thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Most High Yahweh thy power in vain, for the Most High will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Most High Yahweh thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Most High Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Most High Yahweh thy power giveth thee. Thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Bahashim Mashiach Yahushai, the water from Yad, Amen.
Hallelujah.
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 Who's the power?
Yahweh the power.
Who's the power?
Yahweh the power.
Bahasham.
Yahushai.
Bahasham.
Yahushai.
Mashiach Palau and the last one Kodash. Repeat the Hebrew only. Abanawa.
Anawa.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Kodash.
Kodash.
Haya.
Haya.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Malak Wathka.
Malak
Thaba'a.
Taba'a.
Ratazaka.
Ratazaka.
Haya.
Haya.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Baharataza.
Baratazah.
Ka.
Ka.
Haya.
Haya.
Bashamayim.
Bashamayim.
Athananawa.
Athananawa.
Lacham.
Lacham.
Kayawam.
Kayawam.
Wasalaknawa.
Wasalaknawa.
Kabawathinawa.
Kabawathinawa.
Kasalaknawa.
Kasalaknawa.
Kabawathinawa.
Kabawathinawa.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Thabiyanawa.
Thabiyanawa.
Manasawan.
Manasawan.
Abo.
Abo.
Owashainawa.
Owashainawa.
Marai.
Marai.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Laka.
Laka.
Hamalakwath.
Hamalakwath.
Wala'ala.
Wala'ala.
Walathai Parath.
Thai Torah.
I will love you.
I will love you.
Bahasham.
Bahasham.
Mashiach.
Hamashiach.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Tawada.
Tawada.
Thanyad.
Thanyad.
Amen. The book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 9. The Lord's Prayer in English.
After this manner therefore pray ye. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. For if ye forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if ye forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. Bahashim Mashiach Yahushai, the water from Yad, Amen.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Psalms 133. The last one, Kodash. Repeat the Hebrew. Shayar.
Shayar.
Hamawath.
Hamawath.
Ladawad.
Ladawad.
Hana. Ma. Tawa.
Tawa.
Wama.
Wama.
Nayam.
Nayam.
Shabbath.
Shabbath.
Akim.
Akim.
Gum. Yakad.
Yakad.
Kashaman.
Kashaman.
Hatawab.
Hatawab.
Ayel.
Ayel.
Haraash.
Haraash.
Yerad.
Yerad.
Ayel.
Ayel.
Azakwan.
Azakwan.
Zakwan.
Zakwan.
Haharan.
Haran.
Shayarad.
Shayarad.
Ayel.
Ayel.
Paya.
Paya.
Mandawathua.
Mandawathua.
Kato.
Kato.
Karamwan.
Karamwan.
Shayarad.
Shayarad.
Ayel.
Ayel.
Haraya.
Haraya.
Tazawan.
Tazawan.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Sham.
Sham.
Tazawa.
Tazawa.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ath.
Ath.
Abiakad.
Abiakad.
Kayayam.
Kayayam.
I will
I will love.
Bahasham.
Bahasham.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Tawada.
Tawada.
Thanyad.
Thanyad.
Amen.
Amen.
Psalms 133 in English.
Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head, that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments, as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Most High Yahweh commanded the blessing, even life forevermore. Bahashema Mashiach Yahweh Shai, the water in yard, man.
Let everything that have breath praise Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
Let everything that have breath praise Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
All praises, all thanks go out to the prophet Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because truly his mercy endure forever. Psalms 150, the praise.
Praise ye Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahweh in his sanctuary.
Hallelujah.
Praise him in the firmament of his power.
Hallelujah.
Praise him for his mighty acts.
Hallelujah.
Praise him according to his excellent greatness.
Hallelujah.
Praise him with the sound of the trumpet.
Hallelujah.
Praise him with the psaltery and harp.
Hallelujah.
Praise him with the timbrel and dance.
Hallelujah.
Praise him with string instruments and organs.
Hallelujah.
Praise him upon the loud cymbals.
Hallelujah.
Praise him upon the high sounding cymbals.
Hallelujah.
Let everything that have breath praise Yahweh.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Praise ye Yahweh by Hashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai, the water in yard, man.
Let everything that have breath praise Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
Let everything that have breath praise Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
All praises, all thanks go out to the prophet Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because truly his mercy endure forever. We come humbly before you, Abba Yahweh, begging you to watch over and protect us, Abba Yahweh. We want to thank you for blessing us with the Shabbat day. Please bless the Shabbat day. May we have a peaceful and blessful Shabbat today. Please send the righteous angels to encamp around us, Abba Yahweh, because we know Satan is after us. He's seeking us like a roaring lion, coming down to destroy souls, Abba Yahweh. Please send forth a spirit of healing, Abba Yahweh, on our young daughter Kwame and the young daughter Miss Nelson, Miss Capers, Abba Yahweh, Captain Yashuan, Brother Ali Asaf, and the young Nathaniel and the Gadites and the whole family and wife and the children, Abba Yahweh. Please send a righteous angel to encamp around all those that dwell in the home with our beloved officer Ali Asaf. May they get a speedy recovery and return back, Abba Yahweh. Please send the righteous angels to encamp around all those in need of healing, Abba Yahweh. Please send the righteous angels to encamp around them, keep them safe, and bring them back to the fold. And as always, Abba Yahweh, we beg of you, please bring the knowledge and wisdom, understanding of your word out in this Torah portion. And as always, please come redeem us out of this captivity. All Israel, that face your Shalom and call on thy high holy name, Bahashem HaMashiach Yahweh Shai. Please come redeem us out of this captivity. I thought. All these things we ask and praise in your name, Yahweh, and your Son, who came and died for the nation of Israel and Israel only, HaMashiach Yahweh Shai, Bahashem HaMashiach Yahweh Shai, the water in yard, Haman, Yeshabiam.
Yeah.
Can you take the Red Bull out of the freezer and bring in a small one?
Hey, Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I hope everyone's Shabbat has been in peace. I know we struggle every day throughout the week in this captivity to work and come home and pay bills and struggle through this whole week just to make it to this Shabbat. This is the refresher. This is the what we're gonna get to recharge us, right? Through the week, right? This is what we're gonna need to get rejuvenated, as you would say, right? We need this portion. We need this. We need the Most High's word, His blessing, to get us through the week. You know, because unfortunately we are in a rat race, man, and it's just going down today. All throughout the week, everybody's on a scramble to try to make all this money, and to do what? To give it right back to the same people that's giving us the money, right? So we hope that you are praying for your salvation, right? Salvation means deliverance from evil. So I don't see why Esau needs to be praying for salvation. They're already in their salvation already, right? So they're the ones who created they're the ones who in this evil, enjoying every minute of it, right? But we went out of here, Con. So today's portion is going to be Genesis 18 all the way to I believe 22 and 24, and we're going to go through. It's a series of scriptures that are going to be coming out. There's a lot of information in here. We'll try to touch on as much as we can due to the time that we have started. We started pretty late today. We're working on starting earlier time so that way we can finish by 3 p.m. for the 9th hour prayer. But as always, we start out with the book of Colossians chapter 3 and verse 17. Let's open up the word of Yah.
This is the book of Colossians chapter 3 verse 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all by Hashem HaMashiach Yahushai, giving thanks to Yahweh and the Abba by him.
Right, so everything we do, we know we do it by Hashem HaMashiach Yahushai in the name of the anointed Savior. Always giving thanks to who? Yahweh, the Father, the one who created all things. So let's just jump right into it, because we started pretty late today. Let's look at Genesis 18 verse 1. The book of Genesis chapter 18 verse 1.
It's the book of Genesis chapter 18 verse 1. And the Most High appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door, and bowed himself toward the ground.
Right.
And said, My Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree.
Right. So now this is Abraham. The 3 angels came before him, and what they asked, and he automatically went into what? His showing humility, hospitality. He offered them water, bread, the washing of their feet, which is very important. As you notice, when you read throughout all the scriptures, you notice that that was a custom in Israel that we did. You know, to come in, when you come to someone's house, you know, your shoes came off, right? And even some of our people still today still carry these customs. Even a lot of the Benjamites tribe, you go to their house and automatically, it don't matter if they got hard floor carpet, your shoes gotta come off. You know, you don't walk in their house with shoes that you walk outside with. You know, this is this custom didn't start with them, it started with Israel, you know what I mean? So, and we were doing what? The washing of the feet, right? It shows humility. It shows hospitality, you know what I mean? And they offered bread and they offered water, you know, because a lot of times they came on a long journey. They were traveling a long time. We don't have it like the way we have it today, where we jump in our car, the air conditioner's on, you know what I mean? You drive an hour to go visit a friend of yours, and you in comfort the whole time. These guys were an hour. Well, would it take us to get an hour? It'd probably take them a few days to get there. So with that travel, and then by the time they got there, the washing of the feet and the bread and the wine or some water, you know, you will definitely look forward to that, some comfort. So this is what Abraham was showing, his hospitality and his humility towards the men that came to him. Read on that, verse 5.
And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts.
Right, so you see that comfort. He wanted to comfort them, you know, and show them, like, listen, this is how we do things, right? This is how things should be done. Read.
After that ye shall pass on. For therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, So do as thou hast said.
Right, they said they come to see their servant. Read on.
And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes upon the hearth. And Abraham ran unto the herd, and fetched a calf tender and good, and gave it unto a young man, and he hasted to dress it.
Right.
And he took butter and milk, and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat.
Right, you see that? He went and prepared a whole meal for them. You know what I mean? You know, the first thing you prepare for them, what? Is you will want a little bit of food in your belly and a little bit of water. You're thirsty from that long, travel. Give them that bread and water, but then after what? They started to prepare food, meat, something they can eat. You know what I mean? And he told his wife, yo, prepare this thing, man. Get it, let's go. Let's get it popping, as they would say, right? All right, read on.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 9.
Uh-huh.
And they said unto him,
Mm-hmm.
Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I will certainly return unto thee, according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age,
Mm-hmm.
and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of woman.
Right, so now at this point, she was well old and stricken in age. At this point, she just didn't believe that she was going to have a child, So she overheard them speaking and saying that, she's going to be with child. And she was kind of surprised, like, wow, at this age. So read on, huh?
Verse 12.
Uh-huh.
Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying,
Right.
After I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also?
You see that? So now you see she lacked, faith at this point, because she didn't believe that she was going to have this child, right? And she kind of laughed like, you're right, But, she's saying that now I'm going to have pleasure in my old age, because it would give her nothing but great pleasure to have a child, especially from Abraham, right? A friend of the Most High. I mean, any woman would want to have a child from Abraham, all right? Read on.
And the Most High said unto Abraham,
Right.
Wherefore did Sarah laugh,
Go ahead.
saying, Shall I of a surety bear a child, which am old?
Look at that. The Most High even heard her laugh. So, he's like, oh, you think the Most High is a joke? You think that, I'm slack? The Most High said what? He's not slack concerning his promise, right? Read on.
Is anything too hard for the Most High?
Right. That's the question. Is anything too hard for the Most High? That's a question. There's a question mark there. Is anything too hard for the Most High? All right. What you got? I know. Let's see what the.
Want me to finish reading it, or?
No, that's a question. Let's answer that question. Is anything hard for the Most High? All right.
Let's go to Luke. Go to Luke 1:36 and 37. Chapter 1, verse 36. I'll read it.
The book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 36.
Come.
I'll read it.
Okay, come.
And behold, thy cousin Elizabeth, she hath also conceived a son in her old age.
So this is in the time of Mary, when she went to go see her cousin Elizabeth. Read.
And behold, thy cousin Elizabeth, she hath also conceived a son in her old age. And this is the 6th month with her, who was called barren.
Who was called what?
Barren.
So Elizabeth was also a woman that could not conceive child. Read verse 37.
For with the Most High, nothing shall be impossible.
Nothing shall be what?
Impossible.
So with the Most High, nothing's impossible. We're going in the future to show an historical event as well. Another woman that was stricken with old age and that was barren had a child. Because there's nothing with the Most High is impossible. That's one example. We go to, let me see what I got here. Jeremiah 32, verse 27. He's asking the question again. I don't want to answer a question with a question. We can go to Matthew chapter 19, verse 26. Yeah, that's more like it. Time.
The book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 26.
Read.
But Yahweh beheld them and said unto them, with men this is impossible,
Read.
but with the Most High all things are possible.
All things are what?
Are possible.
So this is that parable that the men, that Yahweh gave to the men, saying that no rich man shall make it to the kingdom of heaven through the eye of a needle. I'll read it, verse 24. And again I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of Yahweh. So the men asked him, so then this is going to be impossible then. No one's going to be able to make it to the kingdom. But Christ answered with them, with men this is impossible. But with Yahweh all things are possible.
Right, God.
So we can go back to the portion.
Right.
So nothing is too hard with Yah.
Right. Verse 14.
I'll read. Is anything too hard for the Most High?
Right. So the answer to that question is no. Because all things are possible with Yahweh. Right? In Yahweh Shai. Read.
At the time appointed, I will return unto thee, according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son.
Right. So the angel told her, I'll return, and then when I return, you're gonna bear this child. Read on.
Then Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not.
Right, she tried to pull it back that she didn't laugh, but we know she laughed. Read.
For she was afraid.
And
he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh.
Right. Read on.
Verse 16. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 16.
Right, see how they go back and forth? I mean, at that point, why did she just admit that she laughed? Right? Are you going to question the Most High and say you didn't laugh? She sat there and said she laughed right there because she didn't believe, she lacked faith that she was going to have this child at this old age.
Well, she laughed within herself.
Within herself, right.
So she thought that, the Most High in here her laugh.
Right.
So that's how you know the Most High here knows the thoughts of men and women. Whatever you thinking, whatever is going on in your brain, the Most High hear it all.
Yeah. It's going down. He heard you. Verse 16.
This is the book of Genesis 18, verse 16. And the men rose up from thence and looked towards Sodom. And Abraham went with them to bring them on the way.
Right.
And the Most High said, Shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do? Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him.
Right.
For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Most High.
See, the Most High knew that Abraham was going to obey him and to follow him. Remember, whenever he asked Abraham to do something, he did not slack on doing it. He did it to the best of his ability. Right? And the Most High respected him for that because he obeyed him. Read on that.
For I know him,
right.
that he will command his children.
He said he know him. Now, come on. The Most High said he know Abraham. That's something. Read on.
That he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Most High, to do justice and judgment, that the Most High may bring upon Abraham that which he has spoken of him. And the Most High said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous.
Right, so you see right now, you see that Sodom and Gomorrah is very great. This is what's happening now, even to our days, the cry is going out, right, in America and all throughout the world, okay? And a lot of Israel, we're waking up in these last days and we're crying out to the Most High to come and redeem us out of this captivity. We have to continue that cry. We still have to continue that, to beg the Most High to come and redeem us out of this captivity because of what's going on in Sodom and Gomorrah, which is modern day America, right? So this is and all, of course, throughout the world. This is a sign also that, you know, we need to continue our cry and have faith in the Most High that He will come and get us. All right, read on.
Verse 21. I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me, and if not, I will know.
Right.
And the men turned their faces from thence and went towards Sodom, but Abraham stood yet before the Most High.
Right.
Verse 23. We're in the book of Genesis chapter 18, verse 23. And Abraham drew near and said, Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked?
You see that? So automatically, you know, Abraham, as you can see, is concerned for the people. You know, he wants to know, or at this point in time, are you going to destroy the righteous with the wicked? Yes.
So he was pretty much fighting for us like what Moses did. Talk to the Most High God, like plead for us.
Absolutely, because you know,
plead for Sodom and Gomorrah.
you know, Abraham just didn't look out for himself. He looked out for his household. He looked out for his family and the people that were with him. You know, he was sincere like that. So now you see, now he's asking a question: will he destroy the righteous with the wicked? Because this has been done in the future. Let me just get a precept real quick, just to show to you. Let me get the book of Jeremiah chapter 9 verse 25. Right? Because you know the Most High, it's up to Him to have mercy. He said He will have mercy on whom He will have mercy. And He will have compassion on whom He will have compassion. That will be up to Him. Read that. Give me Jeremiah 9 verse 25. Read that.
This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 9 verse 25.
Read.
Behold, the days come, saith the Most High,
right,
that I will punish all them which are circumcised with the uncircumcised.
You see that? See? He'll punish both of us. You know what I mean? Everybody got to catch it. You don't think you're just going to, because you're the righteous, you say, you know, I'm good. I'm good. I'm in there with the Most High. The Most High take you out and the unrighteous. Y'all both be finished, right? Because what? Yahushua was on the cross. Was he unrighteous? Absolutely not. Yahushua was on the cross to die for the nation. He was the righteous. But how about them two thieves on the side of him? They wasn't part of the righteous. They weren't part of the circumcision. Right? They were part of the uncircumcised. Right? So the Most High said, behold, the days come, said the Most High, that I will punish all them which are circumcised with the uncircumcision. And if you look at the desolation of the 70 AD, when we were all was chased and murdered and killed and went into Africa, what happened? All of us was unrighteous. So we all received the judgment. Read on that.
Verse 26.
Read that.
Egypt and Judah.
Who?
Egypt and Judah.
Right. They the unrighteous, Egypt and Judah. Read.
And Edom.
Who?
And Edom.
And Edom. Read.
And the children of Ammon. And Moab.
Right.
And all that are in the utmost corners, that dwell in the wilderness. For all these nations are uncircumcised.
All the nations are uncircumcised. Read.
And all the house of Israel are uncircumcised in the heart.
You see that? We are uncircumcised in the heart because we decided that we did not want to serve the Most High. We did not want to serve Yahweh and Yahushua. We want to do our own thing. We want to serve God our own ways. So don't think the Most High won't punish the righteous with the wicked. Both will go down. Everybody got that? Go back.
Good precept, good precept.
The book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
And Abraham drew near and said,
What did he say?
Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked?
Uh-huh.
Peradventure, there be 50 righteous within the city.
Mm-hmm.
Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein?
Right. So Abraham asked him, could you spare this city if I can get 50 righteous men up in here? Read.
That be far from thee to do after this manner,
Mm-hmm.
to slay the righteous with the wicked,
Right.
and that the righteous should be as the wicked. That be far from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right?
Right. Abraham was like, wait a minute, should the judge do right? You got 50 righteous men, and why would you destroy? You know, Abraham's cutting it thin right now. Questioning the Most High like that. What do you got going on? Right? But he's asking him, he's praying to him and saying, hey, listen, do you think that you would, you know, out of being a judge of all the earth, you know, would you not save these cities because of these 50 people are in here?
That's how Moses was talking to the Most High.
Yeah.
They was talking with wisdom, though.
Right. Yeah, he was talking about wisdom. He's talking about wisdom, man. He said, you know, I know you're the judge. He's bigging him up. You the boss. You know, would you not, you know, kill everyone for 50 people? Read on.
And the Most High said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes.
Okay, go ahead.
And Abraham answered and said, behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord, which am but dust and ashes. Peradventure, there shall lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy all the city for lack of 5?
Go ahead.
And he said, if I find there 40 and 5, I will not destroy it.
Go ahead.
And he spake unto him yet again, and said, peradventure there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do it for 40's sake. And he said unto him, oh, let not the Most High be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure there shall 30 be found there.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there.
Right.
And he said, behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto the Most High. Peradventure there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake.
Read.
And he said, oh, let not the Most High be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure 10 shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake.
Mm-hmm.
And the Most High went his way as soon as he had left communing with Abraham.
Right.
And Abraham returned unto his place.
Right. So return on to his place. So they broke it down to even 10 people. If you just find 10, I saved the place, man. Abraham, boy, he pleading for the people, man. You know, Abraham does remind me a lot of their spirit, like Moses. You know, at all times he's always pleading for the nation. You know, it wasn't never about himself. Even as you look throughout history, a lot of the prophets were like that. They never were about themselves. It were mainly about the nation, right? It's about the nation. Paul was about the nation, right? Read on.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 1.
Right.
And there came 2 angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground.
Right.
And he said, behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, nay, but we will abide in the street all night.
Right.
And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned unto him, and entered into his house, and he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat.
You see that? You see, again, our custom was always to show their hospitality and their humility towards one another. When you see we come into the door, you know, when someone comes to your house, this is something that you should be implementing now today. Someone come into your house, you offer them some water, maybe some unleavened bread or something to, you know, to eat or something to drink, take a load off. You don't know, you know, how far they travel, but it just shows a high level of hospitality, which we should be doing as Hebrews, as Israelites. Everybody understand that? Right? And you offer them something to drink and have a seat and make sure that they're comfortable in your home. Right? Right?
I just want to...
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I just want to point something out because Minister actually gave the answer already. The 3 men that came to Abraham were actually angels, but it didn't. Minister gave us the answer, but it didn't say that those were 3 angels. It just said it was 3 men. Because remember, after before Abraham was talking to the Most High and asking them about the 50 and the 40 righteous, it said that the 3 men looked towards Sodom, and I will go down and deal with Sodom. And it said Abraham stayed with the Lord. So one of those men stayed behind, which was actually one of the angels, and was dealing with Abraham. And the other 2 went down to Sodom and Gomorrah, and now those are the 2 that went and that Lot saw. And that's how we know, because the same, as Minister saying, the same hospitality that Abraham showed to the 3 men, Lot is showing the hospitality to the 2 angels. Why? Because they look like men.
I'll mark it in my Bible too.
They look like men. He asked them, let me wash your feet. Stay in, let me feed you. Abraham just did that to the 3 men.
Right.
So,
I gave him a feast.
right. So right here is when we found out that those 3 men were angels.
Well,
Yes, Captain.
It also showed that Lot and Abraham came up the same way.
right.
Exactly.
Also, Hebrews 13:2.
Hebrews 13:2.
Probably 1.
I'll read 1 and 2. Let me get there. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 1.
Read.
Let brotherly love continue.
Right. Let brotherly love continue. As you see that when the men showed up, what did they show? Brotherly love to their brothers. They knew it. Abraham showed those angels brotherly love, and then when they got to Lot, he showed brotherly love. Read.
Be not forgetful to entertain strangers.
Right.
For thereby some have entertained angels unaware.
Right. That's very good. They've been entertained angels. You don't know. Someone may come knock on your door. Somebody may ask you a question, come up. You know, it might be, you know, somebody. It might be an angel. Yes.
Can I tell a quick story, Mr. Minister?
Go ahead.
Testimony of the Lord. I was in Kissimmee at our work release, right? So, me and my partner, we went to Walmart. Thing to go to Walmart to get your food and stuff, right? So we go there, and I said, well, I'm gonna buy 2 of everything. So I go there, I buy 2 of everything. I come out the door, it was a big parking lot. I didn't see nobody at first. So I come out the door, and I see this family.
He did it. He did it.
I did already. It was a daughter, son, and husband and wife. So by the time I'm pushing my shopping cart, I look around. She comes to me. She said, "Can you do you got some food to spare for me and my family? We don't have nothing." So immediately my spirit said, "Give it to him." So my partner on the side said, "No, man, I wouldn't give him nothing." So I gave him the food, minister. I took 1 step with the cart and turned around. It was gone. It was gone. With nobody there no more. I said, "Woo!" I never went hungry again. I mean, they were angels, man. Yeah.
You never know, man. As the scriptures say, you know, you never know when you're entertaining an angel, man. You know, you could walk up to somebody like the brother said and say, well, they ask you a question, say, hold on a minute. And you go to give it to them, all of a sudden, boom. Now, why would they come ask you a question and then disappear? You're about to give them the food, you know?
I gave it to them, too.
Yeah.
It was gone.
It was gone, yeah.
And like Elder Priest always said, when we at camp, a lot of times those older homeless men that be out there, especially in South Beach, they just be there listening to the word. They don't say nothing. You just never know who you entertaining, man. That might be the angel right there
Right.
protecting us.
So you better be careful. Be
Right.
careful. Be mindful what you say.
Right.
Because what you say and what you do, once you put it out there, you can't take it back.
Right.
All right. So, all right, read on.
Go back to
19.
And also, just to point out, it said that Lot sat by the gate of Sodom. So we know that Lot was a leader and a judge because he sat by the gate. Just like Brother Mordecai in the story of Esther. He was sitting by the gate because the king made him a leader and a judge. I just want you just to point that out as well. So, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 1. And there came 2 angels to Sodom and even. Oh, Salak, you know what? I read all that already. Let me go to verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
And he pressed upon them greatly,
Right.
and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house.
Right.
And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat.
Right. So that was the him showing hospitality again. And he kept pushing them to come in because at first they were like, nah, we stay out here all night. He insists for them to come in. And they baked them unleavened bread. Right? Why unleavened bread? We ain't get to the point of the Passover yet. Chef, want to ask something?
I believe it's quicker to make.
Right, exactly, yeah. Because for you to put,
I didn't even know that.
yeah, when you put the 11 into the bread, now you have to let it sit in there and bake.
You don't got to worry about it rising.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it
Right,
rising. When you put the 11 in, it will rise, and you still have to wait. And you may have to, some people, they may even turn the cake over, you know what I mean, and flip it, and then you have to check and make sure it's cooked all the way through.
It could take hours.
So it takes time, right? To make the unleavened bread, once you mix the flour and the water and the sweet, whatever you're going to put in there, and you put that in the oven, you just watch it, and then boom, it'll eventually, it'll be cooked faster.
Right.
So because of the haste, you know what I mean,
Right.
he got the men in there, he wanted them to eat, that's why he hurried up and cooked up this unleavened bread. Read on now, verse 4.
But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter.
Right.
And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men which came in to thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them.
Right. So he said, bring them out onto us so that we can know them. Right? So they want to get to know them. Hey, come on. What's your name? What's your size? What's your sign? You Capricorn? Cancer? Right? I don't know where they get to know them. But obviously, it wasn't a good thing. If you're going into a city of people that are dealing with all kind of different levels of fornication, and you asking the people to bring them out so you can get to know them, that might be a problem. All right? It sounds kind of fishy. Read on a little bit.
Well, let's prove what the no part is.
Okay.
This is Genesis chapter 4, verse 1.
Okay, hold on.
Just a couple chapters before. I'll read it.
Go ahead.
And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived.
I don't see how the men is going to conceive.
They ain't going to conceive.
Yeah, but they're going to get to know them.
They wanted to know them 2 angels, though.
Oh, they wanted to know them. They wanted to get with them and see if they could turn them out, as they would say. Right? They'd turn them into the rainbow people and the alphabet people. Right? All right. What else you got? You want to finish that?
That's it.
Okay.
Just that part.
All right. So let's go back.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
And Lot went out at the door unto them,
Right.
and shut the door after him,
Mm-hmm.
and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly.
Right. So obviously, the new and to know wasn't like, what's your sign? What's your name?
nationality?
What's your nationality? Right. Where you come from? Hey, where you going? You want something to eat? It wasn't that kind of hospitality.
Right.
But it was the hospitality, as the captain brought out, they wanted to know them. You know what I mean? To commit some sort of fornication with them. Okay? So Lot went out the door and he said unto them, he shut the door behind himself so that he's out there with them. And he said, I pray, you brother, don't do nothing crazy up in here. Right? Read on.
Behold now, I have 2 daughters, which have not known man.
Right, so Lot automatically offered the daughters. He said, listen, my daughters are still untouched by man. Right? Read on.
Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing.
Right, so Lot gave up the daughters as a sacrifice. They were the sacrifice that he gave for them to protect what belongs to the Most High. Right? That's something that's very noble. That's something that's very honorable on a high level, because a lot of people will not give their daughters up, especially to men that they're not going to ask for it. Right? These women are going to be taken advantage of, to the lack of a good word. I want to make sure I keep it righteous on the Shabbat.
Right. And you also got to look at it from another perspective, that Lot was protecting them.
Right.
Just like Abraham is a righteous man and Moses, Lot is trying to protect them from getting destroyed, because he knows that those are angels.
Right.
And if you try to test the Most High, they know what's going to happen. So he trying to protect them from being put to death. That's why he said, brethren, I pray you, do not do wickedly. Right. And the noble thing was, he was going to sacrifice his daughters, in the sense of letting them know their daughters, to protect them.
Right. To protect the cities, to protect the people that are there. Because remember, the Most High was ready to destroy everything. Destroy it all. Right? The righteous with the wicked. Okay? All right, read on. Verse 8.
Right, let me finish verse 8. Do ye to them as is good in your eyes.
Start from the beginning. Behold.
Book of Genesis 19, verse 8. Behold now, I have 2 daughters, which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof.
Right. They came there under his roof, and he offered the daughters to take them, and do whatever you want, but just don't touch these 2 right here. Read on.
And look, it pointed out again. He said, only unto these men do nothing.
Right.
So they're in front of Lot's eyes. They're men.
They're men. Right. Read on.
And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door.
Right. So at this point, the daughters wasn't good enough. They wanted these dudes. They say, listen, man, later for that, man. We came a long journey. We want these cats right here. There's something in their spirit just wanted these guys. I don't know what it was. That's a real foul spirit, right? Foul. Yeah. That's a good word right there, brother. A good foul spirit right there was on them, that they had to have these, without taking these 2 young women who never even seen a man like that in that way. They just still wanted to go after the man. Right? Read on.
Verse 10. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them, and shut to the door.
Right. So at this point, remember, they try to pull Lot out the way to try to knock the door down, to get to them. But at this point, the men inside say, that's enough. You offer your daughters, you offered yourself because he stood right there. But remember, when he came out the door, he shut the door behind himself. So he's got himself out there as a sacrifice, and he offered even his own daughters as a sacrifice. At this point, the Most High said, "You've done enough. Come inside." Right? And that's when the angel said, "Yo, y'all come in, you come in." And they shut the door behind them, because at this point, the people on the outside of that door do not desire to talk about anything. They want action. Read on.
But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them, and shut the door.
Read on.
And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door.
Right, so he smoked them with blindness. They couldn't see the door. Right, they forgot their way, where they were at. You know what I mean? Pull a fast one on them. You right? Okay, read.
Verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
And the men said unto Lot, Hast thou here any besides son-in-law, and thy sons, and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city? Bring them out of this place. For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Most High. And the Most High has sent us to destroy it.
Right, so at this point, he's telling Lot, listen, man, I don't know what you got going on up in here, but if you got your family, whoever you got, let's go. Because at this point, the sin has reached on to heaven, right? And the Most High is angry at this point, and he sent forth his angels, 2 of them, to destroy. Now look, I want to I just want to make mention of something. He sent 2 angels to destroy the city. 2 to destroy 5 cities.
Right.
Right? What do you think 200,000 gonna do?
Oh.
So think about that for a
earth
second.
is finished.
So think about that for a second. You know what I mean? I just want to just put that out there. That these angels is not like right now they appear to men. Right? If you remember how the angel looks, you remember how the angel looks? And just to make an example, and I don't want to go to Ezekiel, but I want to make an example how the angel looked when he met with Balaam. Remember when the angel stood before the donkey? And the donkey, that's what the angel looked like. Now he didn't show themselves like that to Lot. Right. They showed the king as men. So Lot could graciously invite them in and give them what they need, or whatever the case may be. But when it's time to destroy that city, now it's time to go back into that form, right? Where they're gonna start to slay him. Because as you notice, the donkey didn't move no further, right? When he saw that, when he saw the angel standing, drawing sword, and only when Balaam saw him, that's when he said, "Oh my gosh," he passed out. Right? They had to put the spirit back in him. The spirit's ready to leave him. So you knew that they wouldn't show themselves like that, because the people wouldn't find them to be attractive, and want them. So they've revealed themselves as men. So at this point, it took 2 of them to deal with the business. All right, read on. Let's go. 12.
And the men said unto Lot, Hast thou here any besides son-in-law, and thy sons, and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city? Bring them out of this place.
Read.
For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Most High. And the Lord hath sent us to destroy it.
Right.
And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, Up, get ye out of this place, for the Most High will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law.
Right, so the people didn't believe him. He had the 2 daughters that he offered them. Then he had 2 other daughters. They were already of age. They were married already. They had, they had families. And he offered them, listen, come with me. Right? And the people mocked him. Just like the same thing happened to Noah. Remember when Noah was building the ark, right? The people mocked him. They said, man, what rain? What storm? What are you talking about? Right? The people, they didn't believe him. Right? Even today, if somebody went and said they're going to build an ark of the Most High and say they're going to destroy this place, nobody would believe them. Right? So, you know, Noah kept the faith. He knew the spirit of Yah had visited him and told him that this was going to go down. So he knew he had to be steadfast and stay on the grind on building that ark. Everybody understand that? Right?
And
I'm gonna put it on the question, but go ahead.
And this is also, you got to think about it like this was going on this present day too. When we tell our people that they need to get out of the philosophies of this world, or the mentalities of this world, they laugh at us. And they mock us because they think, you know, America and this world are going to be here forever.
Forever. That's it.
So spiritually, it's like we're going through the same thing right now as well. When we're trying to tell our brothers and sisters and our blood brothers and our families that we need to leave, not entangle ourselves with the
affairs of
this world.
Right.
And they laugh at us.
That's right.
I said, man, I'm trying to watch LeBron James play basketball, man. They mock us. It's the same thing that Lot is going through right here.
14.
Verse 14. And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, Up, get ye out of this place, for the Most High will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law.
Right, so he spoke to the what? He spoke to the men of the house. He didn't go to his daughters and say, come on, bring, right? They didn't tell her daughter, y'all come with me, leave them jokers there. He spoke to the men of the house and asked them to come with him. And it was like, listen, man, we ain't going nowhere, whatever. Read on. 15.
And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, Arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city.
Right.
And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, the Most High being merciful unto him, and they brought him forth and set him without the city.
So you see what happened is that Lot sat there for a minute and was pondering, thinking in his mind, damn, you know? The angel said, I ain't got time for that.
Right.
Right? They grab their hand, they grab everybody. Let's go. Now, I thought. Masha.
Just elaborate what you're saying too, Mills, when we talk about, you said he went to the man first. See how his spirit know that?
Right.
Went to the man?
Yeah, went to the man. He wasn't gonna go to his daughters.
Go to the daughter.
Well, why? We don't go to the daughter for it. And she gonna say, Daddy.
Because they the head.
Yeah. Right? So he's supposed to go to the man, the head of the house, and the spiritual part of the home, which starts with the man, right? And leads on to the woman. He went to the men and said, hey, let's go. But they didn't go. They didn't want to go. All right? So at this point, Lot was kind of, sitting there pondering, thinking, as you said, he was lingering. And then the angel looked at him and was like, no, let's go now. All right? Because they done got the order already. They can't disobey the Most High. Right? They done told him, get him out of there. Read on.
And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, Escape for thy life. Look not behind thee.
Do what?
Look not behind thee.
Right. Look not behind thee. That's a commandment. He told him not to look back. Read.
Neither stay thou in all the plain.
Right. Don't even be near this place. Read.
Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed.
Right. Read.
And Lot said unto them, Oh, not so, my lord. Behold, now thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast showed unto me in saving my life. And I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me and I die.
Right.
Behold now, this city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape thither. Is it not a little one? And my soul shall live.
Right.
And he said unto him, See, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow this city, for the which thou hast spoken. Haste thee, escape thither, For I cannot do anything till thou become thither.
Stop. So he said, you see that? He's telling them, listen, man, we got to get you out of here because the order is what? We got to destroy the city. But before they destroy the city, you must be out, your wife must be out, and the girls must be out. Right? That's the order. So he's telling them, come thither, come over to the little city, right? So you can be here and be safe. Then we can go do our work. Because otherwise, you holding up the process, man. Right? Read on. Let me see why they keep calling it little city, but go ahead.
And he said unto him, verse 22, Haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou become thither.
Right.
Therefore the name of the city was called Zoar.
Right.
The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zoar.
So the word Zoar, what does that mean? Little city. Right? That's what he named it. Every time that we accomplish or we do something, we always put some sort of name or maybe a song to it. Something that we remember. So that's why he named it Zoar. That's why it was called Zoar, because Zoar means little city. That's why he mentioned further up, he kept on saying, you taking me to this little city. And that's why he called it the Hebrew word Zoar. It means a little city. All right, read on.
This is the book of Genesis chapter 19, verse 24.
Uh-huh.
Then the Most High rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Most High out of the heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities and that which grew upon the ground.
That's why he asked him to go into the city, Zoar. Because remember, he said, I need you to come out of the city and come out of the plains. Everybody know what the plains is? The city and the plains. Right. It's the flatlands. That's what it is. Right. Outside this city. Right? If you notice that, let me see where. When you notice when you're going south here on 95 and you come out of Port St. Lucie and you go into Stewart, when you start getting into Stewart, you may see some buildings, but after that, it's flat. Right? He told him, come out of there too. I don't want you over. You pull up. Okay, come on. Right, he pull up the plains. Right. Right. The waters and stuff that's there. Maybe some waters there. You know, these are the plains that you see on the TV screen. Right? And he wanted him to come out from among that also too, because he didn't want him to get the fallout or any fire or anything might have come his way. Everybody understand that? Right? Read on.
Verse 26.
Uh-huh.
But his wife looked back from behind him.
Read.
And she became a pillar of salt.
Right. So the reason why she became the pillar of salt is because she looked back because she desired to be back in the city with the family and the friends and everybody that was there. Even though the city was crying out, even though the city was going through turmoil, you know, a lot of alphabet people was running around. They didn't have the rainbow back then, right? But they was doing the evil that they were doing, the fornication. His wife still desired to be there. So that's the same thing today. When this place is being destroyed, you can't think to look back, right? There's nothing here. The Most High is going to destroy this place. Everybody understand that? The Most High come get us out of here. I'm leaving my wallet, my cell phone. I ain't sending out a text message. I'm not posting nothing. I'm going to walk right out that door. You're going to think I'm a zombie. And I'm going to walk east. I'm out of here. Captain Bayath.
2 Corinthians 6 and 17.
2 Corinthians. Right. When you get that, read that.
It says 6 and 17?
Come on. Right. You got to remember that, you know, she looked back, which was, she broke the commandment. She broke the law that the angel told her not to do. He said, whatever you do, don't look back. Right? Don't look back. Read on.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17.
Read.
Wherefore come out from among them,
right,
and be ye separate, saith the Most High.
Right. Come out from among them. Right. Be separate from them. Come out from among them. Be ye separate. Saith the Most High. I didn't say it. Read.
And touch not the unclean thing.
Right. These people were unclean. The whole city was unclean. Need to be destroyed. Read.
And I will receive you.
Right. And that's why he received Lot, because Lot did not look back. His daughters didn't even look back. Why the mother got to look back? Right. It must have been in her spirit that she wanted to be there. All things are done for some sort of reason through the Most High, through the Spirit of the Most High. Right? Obviously, she's out of here. That was going to bring forth the prophecy that is coming. I'm not going to give it away because it's coming up. All right? So she looked back. She turned into a big pillar of salt. According to, I know some of the brothers that have gone to Israel, from my understanding, they said the pillar is still there. I don't know. I ain't seen it. You know what I mean? But they told me that the pillar of salt is still there. So
that's what they say. I saw a video too last night.
Video? Okay.
They pointed at it, but that's
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But
That's
everything else, though, I believe.
Yeah.
They still say that they went to the site of Sodom and Gomorrah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That is close to the Red Sea, in between the city Zoar and some other city. What I said, Red Sea, close to the Dead Sea. This section close to the Dead Sea, and how they can still detect calcium sulfate. And the only way you can get calcium sulfate, which is a chemical, is by burning limestone and sulfur. So the Edomite was out there. He's touching, like you saw, like they said, they still saw the pillar of salt. There's a whole bunch of stuff that looked like burnt buildings. Just picture like a picture of a building, like getting burnt and it turned to ashes, but like it stayed there, like it stayed in both. So the Edomite will go to it, touch it, and he could pick a piece off and he'll rub it with his fingers and it'll turn into ash. And it's just very interesting that they, that it's true. Esau go out there to seek this wisdom, man. He go out there to really research, and they believe that area is the site of Sodom and Gomorrah. Also in that area, they detect no geothermal activity, meaning there's no volcanoes around there. You know what I mean?
Right. So that rock that was on fire came from the sky.
Right.
And it wasn't no meteorite shower. Like these other people were thinking. And it was forms of radiation over there for many years. That's why nothing was growing over there. So these are the things that, that's why we always encourage everyone, you call yourself a Hebrew Israelite, well, you got to learn some Hebrew and you got to go back home. Because, that is our land and it's being occupied by the other nations. So eventually we do have to make that homage back home. If it be possible,
You say you didn't want to go into the prophecy because it's coming up? What prophecy are you talking about?
Go ahead, it's at the end of it, at the end of the chapter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, can I pull up why Christ told us not to be like Lot's wife?
Absolutely.
Okay, come on. We're going to go to the book of Luke, chapter 17, verse 28 to verses 33. I'll read it. So just like Minister said, just like this present day, we can't be like Lot's wife. The Most High is telling us to flee and be not partakers of this world. We need to follow that commandment.
Right, he said, come out from among them and be ye separate.
Right. So this is the book of Luke, chapter 17, verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise also, as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. In that day, he which shall be upon the housetop, and his stuff in the house, let him not come down to take it away. And he that is in the field, let him likewise not return back. So like Minister always say, he gonna take out his wallet and his car keys and put it on the table and get the hell out of there. That's what Christ is telling us right here.
It's time to go, man. It ain't time to be grabbing a flat screen TV. You're not taking that to the kingdom. It's not going with you. Right? This body can't inherit the kingdom of heavens. You can forget about that. So you finish with that. Right?
Verse
so you
32.
taking that, you can take that flat screen TV all you want. You can go inside the store, grab a couch, like how they do when they be rioting. Cat come out with a flat screen TV, guy come out with a whole couch on his back. Where you going with that? Is that bad in your house? You gotta steal a couch?
Yeah.
Man, read.
Remember Lot's wife.
Remember Lot's wife, read.
Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it.
Mm-hmm.
And whosoever shall lose his life shall preserve.
Very simple, meaning that we got to get rid of this life, this understanding, this ideology that we learn right here in America. You got to lose your life. You got to give up Christmas. You got to give up Thanksgiving. You got to give up the 4th of July. Right? You got to give up Valentine's Day. She's not getting no chocolate. It ain't going down. Right? She's not getting no heart. She's not getting no flowers. None of that. So you got to come out of her, right? Come out of the ways of America. Be ye separate, as the Most High said, and touch not the unclean thing. Read on. That was it.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. So that's how you're gonna preserve your life. Be separate, right? You're gonna be the oddball out of everything. Everybody gonna look at you and say, "Why do you do all this?" Right? Because you're looking to get the kingdom that is to come, not here. Yes, Officer Marshall.
So what I was getting at this message, so she was lacking faith, because Christ said, remember Lot's wife, whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it. So she was lacking faith.
Yeah,
it's a mental thing.
Yeah, it's a mental thing.
Yeah, it's a spirit. I know that. Because you see, she looked back because she desired to be back there. She didn't see no future in going forward.
Yeah.
Right? He was given a straight commandment to all of them not to look back. How come the daughters didn't look back?
And listen, man, it's going to be tough, because you got to remember, Lot spoke to the 2 son-in-laws. So 2 of their daughters stayed with the son-in-laws.
Yeah.
So you also got to remember, she also was looking back, oh, my daughters. But this is how, in this walk, everybody got to go, man.
Yeah.
Most I say honor your father and thy mother. But if they trying to stay here, they're going to stay here by themselves. It's like, we got to go.
Right, it's not like Lot didn't go and try to seek the Jew to go and tell them to come with him, you know what I mean? He went, right? When the captain was reading, I know he went straight to 28, but you go back to 26, it says, and as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man, right? So they did the same thing even with Noah, when it was time for him to build the ark and time for him to bring forth the prophecy. He said the Most High was going to flood the earth. He told the people about this thing that was going down, and they thought he was crazy. They thought he was a lunatic. You know what I mean? And they paid him no mind. And he stood out there building that ark. How long it took him to build it out? That's gonna be on the question of Genesis. I ain't gonna bring it out. You're gonna have to think about that one. Right? Might be a bonus question for you. How long it took him to build that ark? 6 months? A year? All right.
Yeah, but it's gonna be tough, man. But
he stood steadfast and built that ark and got the family on there and got what he needed to get on there and got out.
Right.
Just like Lot. Lot took everybody. They grabbed him and said, "Yo, we cannot destroy this city unless you're out of there. You need to be out of the city, out of the plains of the city. Right? You can't even be in the outer skirts. This place is gonna be destroyed. They destroyed everything, and nothing still now today is growing there in that place." Still to this day. Right? So, let's go back.
Come on. Genesis chapter 19, verse 26.
Right.
But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt.
Right. Read on.
And Abraham got up early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Most High.
Right.
And he looked towards Sodom and Gomorrah.
That's when it was safe to look. In the morning. Not at night. It wasn't safe for them to look back then. And in the morning when the thief woke up, And he looked back at Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Read.
And toward all the land of the plain, and beheld, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace.
Right, so it was smoking over there. You know, imagine, you know, sometimes in California you have those forest fires, and you just keep smelling that smoke. So he must have been smelling that smoke for a long time. Read on.
And it came to pass, when Yahweh destroyed the cities of the plain, that Yahweh remembered Abraham, and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in the which Lot dwelt.
Right, so, you know, the Most High, what he did, he remembered Abraham. He remembered Abraham was faithful to him. He remembered that Lot also was a good nephew to Abraham, and he was righteous, and he did the right thing in the eyes of the Most High, right? And he remembered off of the strength of Abraham, they said, you know what, I'm going to go get Lot, because he was strong. All right, read on.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 30. And Lot went up out of Zoar.
Right, the little city, read.
And dwelt in the mountain, and his 2 daughters with him. For he feared to dwell in Zoar. And he dwelt in a cave, he and his 2 daughters.
Right.
And the firstborn said unto the younger, Our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the earth.
Right.
Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father.
Right, so the idea that they thought that they were alone on the earth, and that they needed to repopulate the earth somehow. So they thought that maybe if they laid seed with their father, and they could keep the generation going, right? And the earth wouldn't just die out, won't be nobody on there. Read. Because remember, the cities were destroyed. All they saw was smoke. And they were in a little city. Nobody was there. They was in a mountain. They were by themselves. And there was nothing but fire and only smoke all around. So to them, it looked like everything was destroyed and nobody was alive. Because remember, everybody died in Sodom and Gomorrah. Any survivors? Anybody say, well, you know, I survived it. I lived.
They gave a testimony.
They gave a testimony, right? Survived in Sodom and Gomorrah. They made a video about it. No, there was nobody around to say that they survived it. Everything was destroyed. So at this point, the girls, they were left to themselves. They started to think carnally, like no one is here on the earth. Read on.
And they made their father drink wine that night.
Right, so they made their father drink wine. I'm sure they didn't have to make him drink wine, because after seeing all that fire burn down and his wife destroyed next to him, give me the wine, brother, right? His wife turned into a pillar of salt, and he had to keep walking. He couldn't stop and pick up the salt and be like, baby. You know? It wasn't none of that going on. It wasn't no emotion that said that he stopped and he was hurt that his wife was gone. He had to keep walking. Because you know, at that point, you know, the Most High would have put him to death behind something like that. All right? Remember when Aaron's sons did that nonsense when they lit the incense against Moses, right? You know, when he put the Most High, put him to death, what happened? He told Aaron, you better not shed a tear for him. You better not, because they were wicked children. Right? Read on.
And they made their father drink wine that night.
And
the firstborn went in and lay with her father, and he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose.
So this guy must have been really like what they call white boy wasted. You know what I mean? That he done drank so much wine that at this point it looked like he was maybe being in a trance. You know, he wasn't able to see when anything went down. Read on.
And it came to pass on the morning that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him drink wine this night, and go thou in.
This night also.
This night also.
Right.
And go thou in, and lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father.
Read on.
And they made their father drink wine that night also, And the younger arose and lay with him. And he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose.
Right.
Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father.
Right. So now, both the daughters of Lot, they both now carrying the father's seed. And they both made him drunk, and they lie with him. Like I said, they were thinking carnally, and they lie with him. But if you go back to verse 26, when it said that his wife looked back, and what happened? She turned into a pillar of salt. If she had not looked back, these two daughters wouldn't have done that. You understand what I'm saying? You understand where I'm going with that? Right? This would have never happened. So this must be a plan. All right? Now, they went and lay with him, and now they've gotten seed with him. Right? Read on. Let's see what happens. What? 37.
37.
Yeah, I wasn't going to go to 26. Go ahead.
No, I can't. Well, I just wanted to bring out, because some people, they probably don't believe that Lot perceived not that he had laid down with his two daughters. But this is the problem when you over consume alcohol. And probably, the man was, like Minister said, he was down, he was sad. So it's not like, they forced him. They probably just kept giving the man drink wine, and they was probably talking. He kept drinking and drinking and drinking. Listen, man, there's some strong wine out there. This is probably was the top of the top.
Yeah.
The top of the line.
Yeah, this they ain't buy from the store, This
is the stuff that they
Right.
made. So I just
Right,
want to get
there's
this
the-
one precept
Okay.
in Isaiah 28 verse 7. Come on. Because, some of us could attest to some things, man.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 28, verse 7.
Read.
But they also have erred through wine,
Read.
through strong drink.
Read.
Read that again. But they also have erred through wine,
Mhm.
and through strong drink are out of the way.
So they erred through wine and through strong drink are out the way. Read.
The priest and the prophet
The priest and the prophet
have
read,
erred through strong drink.
have erred through strong drink. You will err through strong drink. Read.
They are swallowed up of wine.
It's because they swallowed themselves up with the wine. Read.
They are out of the way through strong drink.
They're out of the way through strong drink. And this is what happened. This is why Lot could not perceive. Read.
They err in vision.
You err in vision, man. Once you start mingling that strong drink or you drink too much, you start erring in vision. Read.
They stumble in judgment.
And you start stumbling in judgment, man. This is why it's not good for brothers to drink and drive. Because your judgment is you don't have full control. And when I mean drink and drive, I'm talking about like if you just drank a whole bottle of some Johnny Walker Blue Label or whatever.
Oh, wait a minute.
You ain't gotta go there. They ain't gotta go that far.
And you drank a couple bottles of wine, and then you drinking E&J and
Yeah,
Hennessy.
you drinking that garbage, that would do it to you.
And like that's it. You blanking out. You will stumble in judgment. You lose control, man. You black is what this world called blackout. You black out, and you wake up the next morning and you like, what the heck happened? It's like you don't remember nothing. You might get a little glimpse of stuff, but you don't remember nothing. It's possible. It can happen. I just wanted to bring that out. That it's possible that Lot perceived not.
So like,
Right.
We got there. Oh, we gotta go.
White
The
boy.
one out.
Well, you don't want to get white boy wasted, man.
Yeah.
And look like these guys and girls. Come on, that's all I wanted to say. There's plenty of more other drinks. Scripture saying, that the alcohol will destroy you, but I don't have to go into that. You said you wanted to get one?
Yeah.
Which one you got?
And yeah, probably.
Oh, Sirach 31:27?
That might be it.
I get it. There's probably a few in there. Oh, there's also one in 19.
Okay, no, the one in 19.
19 and 2.
Yeah, come.
Okay, come.
Start at 1.
This is the book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 19, verse 1.
Read.
A laboring man that is given to drunkenness shall not be rich, and he that contemneth small things shall fall by little and little.
Right, so you laboring as a man that giveth to to drunkenness shall not be rich, meaning that the alcohol becomes the number one thing that for you to have, right? Your desire to be prosperous in this life would not be on the first thing on your list. The first thing on your list is to have that drink, right? So a lot of times alcohol blinds the vision. Like you said, where we read in Isaiah, it clouds the judgment, right? It urges the vision, right? Read on.
Verse 2.
Wine
and woman will make men of understanding to fall away.
Right. So now they're giving them wine and everything, right? And it will say wine and women will make what? Men of understanding to fall away. That's why it's not good to go drink out or drink around women as men. This is a little wisdom here. I'm just telling you what the scriptures say. Don't put it on me. Right? You going on a date, now you figure you want to get a couple extra glasses. Next thing you know, things get a little hot. And next thing you know, you wake up next. I don't know how this happened. Then you want to blame it on the alcohol, right?
Blame it on the
That's where they make songs. Blame it on the alcohol, right? Right. So wine and women don't mix. Don't put the two together. Peanut butter and jelly go together. Cornflakes and milk. Wine and women, la'ar. Everybody got that? All right. I'm just trying to give you the understanding, brother. All right. Don't kill a messenger. Read. 2.
And he that cleaveth to harlots.
Start from the beginning.
Wine and woman will make men of understanding to fall away.
Right.
And he that cleaveth to harlots will become impudent.
Read on.
Moths and worms shall have him to heritage, and a bold man shall be taken away.
Right. So even men of understanding, men of strong stature, it doesn't matter. You have that wine, you got that wine going on in you, that strong drink, you get around a woman, things happen. If you ever see, I don't remember the movie, but the movie with Clint Eastwood where he was playing the thief, and the president got drunk, wanted to messing around with the woman and killed her, and the Clint Eastwood was sitting in the closet and saw it, right? I forgot the name of the movie, right? These are the things that happen. You drinking too much, you may make a wrong decision. Your vision is being cloudy. Your thoughts are being cloudy. So we gotta make sure that when we're drinking, that we're around people of the righteous. So if you miscarry, something happened, your brother could pick you up, take you where you need to be. Everybody understand that?
All
right.
One more for wisdom.
Okay.
In the same book, 31 and 27. You'll like this one.
I don't like this one?
Yeah. I'm going to read all the way down. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 31, verse 27.
Go ahead.
Wine is as good as life to a man.
You ain't gonna lie about that. I mean, listen. Listen, let me tell you. Wine, yeah, it could do it to you, man. Read on.
If it be drunk moderately.
That's very important. You sip. You don't drink it like you just came home from a marathon. You run and you chug a bottle of water. You don't drink wine like that. You sip, taste, swish it around in your mouth, get the flavor. What you tasting there? What kind of grapes we got going on there? Right? Have it over some better salmon or something, and some asparagus. Be lovely. Read. And the cheese. Don't leave out the cheese out. Go ahead.
What life is then to a man that is without wine?
Right.
For it was made to make men glad.
You see that? The wine, man, make you feel glad. So that's why when you have too much of it, it make you feel really glad. But then you look at that woman, and now you got some other vision going on. You want to get with this woman. Read on.
Wine measurably drunk and in season bringeth gladness of the heart,
right?
and cheerfulness of the mind.
Wine measurably drunk and in season bringeth gladness. Why you say in season? Right? We're talking about what? Our holy days. Because these are the times where we drink most of the wine in certain seasons, right? The Passover. Drink wine then?
Oh, yeah.
A whole heap. Right? Right? The Pentecost. We drink wine? A whole heap. What about Memorial blowing the trumpets? We drink wine? God. What about the tabernacle of all days? That's a whole week of wine.
Plenty of wine, plenty of wine.
Plenty of wine, right? So, in its season, we drinking and it's a good time for us. And we be in gladness and glorifying the Father, which is in heaven. So it's a good thing to have this wine, right? Read on.
But wine drunken with excess maketh bitterness of the mind.
Right, read.
With brawling and quarreling.
And that's why people get drunk. They want to bring out the scriptures and argue back and forth about this doctrine, that doctrine. It becomes an argument. Why? Because they're drinking. That's not the time to go into the scriptures. Right? Or you see bar fights break out. But why? They had too much to drink.
Right.
Somebody looking at their woman. Yeah, your woman looking good. That's my woman. Next you know it's a fight. Read.
Drunkenness increaseth the rage of a fool.
Read that again.
Drunkenness increaseth the rage of a fool.
Right. So if the guy is already a fool already and he drinking, that don't help. Read.
Till he offend.
Read on.
It diminisheth strength and maketh wounds.
Read.
Rebuke not thy neighbor at the wine.
Right. That is not the time to rebuke your neighbor when you sipping. You know what? I always wanted to tell you, man, you wicked as I don't know what, and you need to repent. And you over there, yeah, give me another drink. No. That's not the time. You have to be sober-minded when you make a decision like that. Everybody understand that? Right? Rebuke not. It's a commandment. Rebuke not thy neighbor. Rebuke not thy neighbor at the wine. Don't wait to start drinking, and all of a sudden now your issues with your brother come out.
The truth serum.
Yeah, true. Yeah, they call it the truth serum, right?
Hold on to that truth.
Right. That is not the time to bring things out when you're drinking, because you know it's gonna come out the wrong way. You know, Ariel, I always wanted to tell you, I never did like you. What? You know? And then there'd be something going on and me and Ariel are here quarreling. No. That's not the time to tell the brother that. You know what I mean? If you got an issue with the brother, it says admonish him. Right? But not in the wine. Not when you're drinking. Read on.
Despise him not in his mirth.
Right. What does it mean? What is mirth? Darren. I'm going to ask Darren. Hold on, Chef Shaw. I know you know the answer. Darren, what is mirth? No. Absolutely not. Mirth is laughter. Fun.
Yeah.
Laughing. Mirth. That's what it is.
Be happy.
Happy. So it's telling you that what? Don't do this. What? Despise him not when he's having a good time. You up there, you having a good time, you talking with Officer Marshall back there, y'all laughing. I come up to you and say, man, you know what? You just a wicked Negro. You need to repent for the evil you done. You like, damn, brother, we just having a good time. Where you going with this? Right?
Come to ruin the party.
Right? Come to ruin the party. What you got there, Bayath?
Oh, mirth.
Mirth. Oh, you pull up mirth? I can't see it out. What do you say there? Can't see it?
So if you zoom in a little bit.
Right.
Social.
All right, that means we need another TV, all right? We need a bigger one? I don't know if that.
I'm nearsighted, so me trying to look from an angle.
You zoomed in?
Okay, here we go. Now we talking.
Okay.
Social merriment, hilarity, high excitement of pleasurable feelings.
Right. You laughed and you're talking and you're mingling with somebody. That's not the time to rebuke somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, that's not the time you drinking and to come out and just say something like that. You know, you kind of ruin the party. You know what I mean? It kind of reminds me of something that happened not too long ago. Right? We're all mirthing and everything was fine and someone just spoke out of turn and ruined the whole spirit. The whole vibe.
That's
kind of
exactly
remind me what happened. The Most High said, rebuke not right, in that time. Everybody got that?
Con.
Rebuke not thy neighbor at the wine. You drinking, do not do that. That's commandment. Right? Despise him not in his mirth, and you have him good pleasure, good time. Read.
Give him no despiteful words,
Right?
and press not upon him with urging him to drink.
Right. Don't press him more to now drink more. You should have another drink, brother. If a brother say he had enough, then he had enough. Everybody has their limit. Right? Some people, 1 is enough. Some people, 2 is not, 4 is not enough. Therefore they just getting started. Some people, they have that tolerance towards alcohol.
Don't tell them, man, oh, you can't get down, brother.
Right. Don't tell them that you can't get down, you can't hang out. Then after
You're
have
soft,
to,
man.
then you have to carry him out.
Right, right. Yeah.
Right?
You're going to have to take him home.
Well, if it's Ariel, I'll take him home. I'll carry him out. But anybody else, you can forget about it. All right? All right? It's probably the only one I probably can put on my shoulders. Everybody else, you can forget about it.
Man,
That's all right. 911. That's all. All right? So we got to remember that, this is not the time to rebuke and when you're on the wine, when you're on the strong drink. Everybody understand that? So let's bring out a few scriptures concerning the drink and see the spirit that the women was in. Because now, you see women, at this point, they were already carnal in their spirit. And then after having a carnal spirit, and then after they drink it, on top of that, that just made it worse. They just say, you know what? We without the earth is going to be destroyed. We finished. We're just going to live with our pops so we can have this seed and go on. But let's see the prophecy that's going to come out for them to do that. They're going to bring forth something. Read. Child.
I'm sorry, let me just get one more precept to show that Lot was a righteous man. Because some people might look at this story and they say Lot is wicked, man.
Oh, Lot, he not going to the kingdom, man.
Right, that he slept with his daughters and do this.
Let's see what you got.
So 2 Peter 2:7.
Okay.
And it also show you that Lot knew what was going down in Sodom and Gomorrah because he was living there. He was residing there. Remember, he sat at the gate. So he was a leader and a judge. So this man knew what was going down there. 2:7. You there?
2 Peter. I'm sorry. Second Peter chapter 2 verse 7. And I delivered just Lot.
Just Lot. Just and righteous Lot. Read.
Vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked.
He was vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. Read.
For that righteous man.
For who?
For that righteous man.
Read.
Dwelleth among them.
Dwelling among them.
In seeing and hearing vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds.
Right. So this is talking about how Lot, what was going down in Sodom and Gomorrah was vexing him.
Right.
What was vexing him and their unlawful deeds. He would see what was going down in Sodom and Gomorrah day by day. So Lot was not unrighteous, or if anybody say that statement, he was a righteous man. Dwelling among them and seeing and hearing vexed his righteous soul. His righteous soul from day to day. That's it.
Let me read one more.
Okay.
Verse 9. For the Most High knoweth how to deliver the righteously out of temptations,
Come on.
and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished.
That's right. So the Most High know how to deliver us out of temptations, man.
That's right.
He gives us commandments.
Right.
He tells us to separate ourselves
Mhm.
from the unclean thing.
Right.
That's how the Most High knows how to deliver us. Because if He doesn't give us those instructions, we're going to fall right into temptation.
All right, go back to the portion. We have Genesis 19 and verse 36.
Come. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 36. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by
Right.
their father.
Read.
And the firstborn bare a son, and called his name Moab.
Right.
The same is the father of the Moabites until this day.
Right.
And the younger she also bare a son, and called his name Ben-Ami.
Right.
The same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day.
Right. So you notice that two nations now came out of these girls, right? So through Lot, the Most High using these two nations came about, which is Moab and Ammon. And what happens when you lay with your firstborn or your secondborn child and have seed with them? What is the condition? What happens to them? How do the children come out? Sometimes they what? A-formed? Deformed, okay. What else? I know Shamshua know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I forgot there's a word for it. I forgot the word for it.
Right, they have something what they call like Down syndrome.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. And you notice the children that come out, I don't know if anybody else gonna put it up there. Put somebody up there. We got a Down syndrome thing going on, right? You lay with the children, and the children have this condition, you know. Some of them are very bright, some of them react smart, some of them they're not, right? But they have an issue because the two DNAs or whatever. You got it up there? Okay, look, see, this is Esau doing his thing too with the Down syndrome. But Moab and Ammon, you know, they also did this also, right? So they themselves came with this condition. Well, you would think that's probably how they would look. Maybe later on, you know, they became Oriental. Eventually, you know that the nations eventually attacked them, Esau, because he saw this seed with all of them. Because at one point they did have melanin and pigmentation in their skin. To think that they were, you look at Moab and Ammon today, and you see how Oriental they are. That is not how they look, right? Because the original samurai was a dark-skinned man with woolly hair. Everybody know that? All right? So you know that these people were a dark-skinned nation at one point. But Esau sought his seed with everybody, right? And eventually they became Oriental, and so it goes on. There's a whole other breakdown with that, but that's another day. But as you see, Moab and Ammon, now it's on the scene. Everybody got that? Through Lot. But Lot was, we just read, was a righteous man, a just man. They took advantage of him. Everybody understand that? All right, we're going into chapter 20.
You want to get the sin of incense or just?
Yes, I'm sorry, that's what I meant to get. Give me Deuteronomy 23 and verse 2. That's kind of slipped my mind. Thought.
Okay. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verse 2.
Read.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to read the stones.
Okay, kind of. That's what I was thinking. A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Most High.
Right. So the word bastard, what you need to do is when you go do your search and your history and you read through, you look this word up in the Hebrew and you get the true understanding. Do not go on the Strong's Dictionary of the understanding of bastard, because it will give you a bone. If anybody know how to eat fish, what do? You take the bones out and eat the meat, right? So you have to understand the word, the bastard word, the Hebrew word there means a child of incest, meaning that you have to lay with someone that is next to your kindred, brother, sister, daughter, mother, right? This is what you'll get. You'll get incest, and this will get. I'll pull it up. He doesn't have to pull it up. I'm just making mention of it. It's a bastard child. That's what a bastard child is. Now, we were taught in this society that a bastard child was when you lay down with your woman, and you have a child. The child is born, and you leave the woman. The fatherless child become a bastard. That's a lie. That's not the truth. All right. Okay, there's a Hebrew word that's out there. I don't know if Bayath probably pulled it up. Yeah, he probably pulled it up. There you go, I know. Right? Bastard child.
So, child of incense.
Born of a Jewish father and a heathen mother. This is another bone that they like to throw on us, right?
That's one of the...
Right, that's another one that they like to do.
Bones.
Right. So it's like they said, we were just talking about it earlier. Who was the mother
The basketball
Blake
player.
Griffin.
Oh, Blake Griffin, right. They saying Blake Griffin is not an Israelite because his mother's Esau and his father's a Levite. Right?
Because
Which don't
he's
make
called-
no sense. They call
Right.
him the bastard child.
Right.
This is what happens when you follow you live everything off the blue letter or the Bible dictionary. Things are meant sometimes to go back to the original word, right? And the original word, you have to look up the Hebrew word and then look up the dictionary meaning of that Hebrew word, and you'll get your answer. A bastard child is a child of incest. Everybody got that?
Huh.
It is not. There's a whole doctrine out there saying that if you have a child and if you leave the child, the man leaves the child with the mother, then the mother is a bastard. Yeah, there you go. Now, his father is definitely a Levi. You can see that right away. But no offense to the Levites, but I love my Levites. But his father is a Levi. He doesn't know he's Levi, so he's so-called Haitian. But that makes him an Israelite. So he has access to the kingdom of the Most High if he repent and come back and keep the commandments, right? Because for you to say that he's a bastard child, then you're saying Moses' children are bastard children.
Exactly.
Think about that for a minute. So think about what you say. So a lot of times our people, they're not really thinking. It's going what they read in the blue letter, and all of a sudden it's just gold. You have to try things. You have to retry it. You have to research. Go deep as you can. Go into the Hebrew. You're a Hebrew Israelite. You got to go into the Hebrew and read the Hebrew word for bastard, and look up in the Hebrew dictionary, and it'll give you a meaning. It's just mean incest. Nothing to do with the father, Levi, or anything like that. All right? What you got up there now? Oh, I thought you had something else up there.
Yeah, the son
Yeah.
of the son looking like real.
His son?
Blake
Yeah.
Griffin's son.
Yeah,
Blake
Blake's like, he probably look like Drake's son.
Yeah.
They look when you look at the complexion or just your perception, you'll think they Esau.
If
right
that
away.
man, if the Levite man is his father, then that's what it is.
All of them
It
jokers
is. It is what it is, right? So, the son could have inherit,
He got blue eyes.
something from the mother's side,
Right.
from the grandfather. Because I personally experienced that from like even my family. Everybody in my family is like my complexion, and my brother's about as dark as that guy up there, and he got straight hair. So it's like, where did that come from? Like, where this guy came from? You know what I mean? But it's like it's from my grandfather, right? Both my grandfathers. One side was the native side on my side, on our side, and then on my mother's side was from the Benjamite side, from Antigua, right? So he got the best of both worlds with that aspect, but everybody else was like my complexion and lighter. So where did that come from, right? So sometimes it's not about the look. We know that, right? Because a lot of times people get screwed up. But it's about the father. Who's the father? That's what's important. Everybody understand that? All right, let's go back. We finished with that, right?
No.
Oh no, hold on. So finish with that 23 and 2.
2 and 3.
Go ahead.
A bastard should not enter into the congregation of the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
Even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Most High.
Read.
An Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Most High. Even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of the Most High forever.
Right. So now they specifically went into, they said the bastard child, meaning child of incest. But then they went into Moab and Ammon, because what he's trying to explain to you, these are the nations that are of incest.
Right.
They cannot enter into the kingdom. All right? Everybody understand that? Right? But if you decide as an Israelite to go and break the commandment and go sleep with one of your sister or your I don't know who else, or your mother or whatever, or your auntie, and you want to go see her and say she look good and she young, well then, you're going to be in trouble. All right? And we didn't read the verse before. We ain't going to go into that one. But Ammon and Ammonite and a Moabite, these are the people that they're talking about of incest. Right? This is a whole doctrine out there. I'm just trying to tell you. You go on YouTube, somebody out there breaking down that the father leave, you're a bastard child. And this is not so. You're just a child without a father. You're a fatherless child. And the scripture said we should be a father to the fatherless, right? Con? And not a husband to the wife. Right? We're supposed to look over the people, the widows, right? We have instructions that we're supposed to do as Israelites. The widows, the fatherless, the homeless, the people that need help. That was our instruction from Yahawashi for us to watch over. Okay? So don't get a whole doctrine on, make a whole thing about a bastard child just because you don't want to take care of nobody else's children. Just be honest and just come out and say, I don't want to take care of nobody else's child. Right? Just come out and be honest. You don't have to make up a whole doctrine about it. If I'm going to take a woman, I want a woman with no children. That's all you got to say. All right? Let's go back.
Come.
Yeah, that was it. We're going to chapter 20.
And the sin of incense is in Leviticus 18, just for lack of time.
Okay.
Right. You ain't going to the whole 18th chapter. That's going into incest. Right. Believe it or not, because you're laying down with your sister, you're laying down with your auntie, you're laying down with
father
people,
and mother.
Your father, or not the father. You can't make nothing with him.
No, I mean,
yeah, I know, but yeah.
If you're a daughter laying with your father.
Right, your daughter laying with your father. These things, you read the whole Leviticus, the 18th chapter, it goes into, these are the things you ought not to do. Right? If you remember, who was that was drunken and the children walked backwards with the cloth? That was Noah. When he made it through, he got drunk, he was drinking. What happened? Shem and Japheth was the one who walked backwards with the cloth so they don't look at his nakedness. But Ham looked at his nakedness, right? And maybe he sought to think something, I don't know what he thought, but the reason why his people are still naked today. That's how you know these people are the Hamitic, because they still run around with no clothes on.
And that's a very important point that Minister just brought out, because that show you that spiritual instruction was there before the actual law that Moses received from the Most High, from the mountains. Because so that means that Lot, being a righteous man, knew that you should not be sleeping with your daughters or your nearest king, because the story of Noah, how they turned around and walked backwards so they don't uncover the nakedness of their father. So that spiritual instruction, that I'm not even going to say spiritual instruction, that commandment was there since the beginning, man.
Right, they already understood that.
Right. Leviticus just expounded on it more in detail. So they went off, those two daughters. They went off. Like Minister said, they'll probably try to fight this case at court and say, well, my mother died, there was nobody around, we thought it was a righteous thing to preserve seed of our father. You know what I mean? They'll try to fight that in the court. But if Levi is there, you finished.
Right.
You're going to say that is the sin of incense.
Right.
Of incest.
Incest.
You finished.
Finished.
You're gonna die childless. That's what the punishment of incense. So I'll read Genesis 20.
Yeah, the book of Genesis chapter 20 verse 1.
And it reads, And Abraham journeyed from thence toward the south country, and dwelled between Kadesh and Shur, and sojourned in Gerar. And Abraham said of Sarah his wife, She is my sister. And Abimelech king of Gerar sent and took Sarah. But Yahweh came to Abimelech in a dream by night, and said to him, Behold, thou art but a dead man. For the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife.
Ain't that something?
Most High cold, boy.
Yeah. Right, he said, but the Most High came to Abimelech in a dream by night and said to him, Behold, thou art but a dead man. You finished. Now the Most High calling you and say you're a dead man, that I don't know what other spirit you be listening to. You know what I mean? But you better be listening to that one, okay?
Yo, but try to put yourself in Abimelech's shoes. We all have those dreams when we about to, be put away, or like you're falling into darkness and you don't know what happens, and you wake up, you scared. Whoa. Imagine a voice telling you a dead man, like a voice of many waters,
right?
Telling you you're dead.
You have taken a man's wife.
That man probably woke up sweating like,
and you already know the punishment for adultery.
Right.
All right. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Verse 4.
But Abimelech had not come near her, and he said, out of 1, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation? Said he not unto me, she is my sister? And she, even she herself, said, he is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and innocency of my hands have I done this. And Yahweh said unto him in a dream, Yea, I knew that thou didst this in the integrity of thy heart, for I also withheld thee from sinning against me. Therefore suffered I thee not to touch her.
Right. So he said, didn't I? I was innocent. I didn't know. She didn't even agree to say, yeah, this is my brother. And he said, didn't I save you from sinning? Because if I didn't come to you in a dream and tell you I'm gonna kill you, you would have went ahead and took that woman, right? Most High, this guy, why everybody gotta take the credit? The Most High saved your life. He gave you a lifeline. He gave you a get out of jail free card. Right? Because if he didn't come in there and say nothing, he ain't come and whisper that to you, you be in trouble right now. You be all over that woman the next day. Right?
A precept. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 24. I'll read it. You all know what it is. Man's goings are of the Most High.
Read it again.
Man's goings are of the Most High.
Right, man's goings are the Most High, read.
How can a man then understand his own way?
Right, man's goings are the Most High. The Most High seen that thing going down like that. He said, I can't let that happen. So he went down there and whispered in his ear while he's sleeping. That's why he say he instilled the instructions with the man when they're in deep sleep, right? So he instilled that instruction in him and tell him, listen, hey, man, if you deal with that woman, I'm going to kill you, a dead man. Ain't that something to just come straight out to say you're a dead man? That's enough fear in me, boy. I jump up out of my sleep, throw that woman out the house. Get out of here. Can't go to your husband, man. Right? Go back.
God. The book of Genesis chapter 20, verse 7.
Right.
Now therefore restore the man his wife.
Right. Give the man back his wife. Read.
For he is a prophet.
Right.
And he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live. And if thou restore her not, know thou that thou shalt surely die.
If you even think about it, you're going to die. Read.
Thou and all that are thine.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore Abimelech rose early in the morning and called all his servants and told all these things in their ears, and the men were so afraid.
Right.
Then Abimelech called Abraham and said unto him, What hast thou done unto us? And what have I offended thee, that thou hast brought on me and on my kingdom a great sin? Thou hast done deeds unto me that ought not to be done. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, What sawest thou that thou hast done this thing? And Abraham said, Because I thought, surely the fear of Yahweh is not in this place.
Right. So he thought that the fear of the Most High is not in this place. So it's better that he go in there as his sister. Right? Because if he went in there and said this was his wife, you think somebody would have not touched him? Remember, this is the same issue that we had when we went into Egypt, right? Right? They say, yo, this is my sister. Because to avoid them killing him. Because they know, even the nations know about the Most High. The nations know about the Most High. And they know about his laws. Right? Otherwise, they would have never said that. Right? Now, why would they kill him? So he could take his wife. Because they knew that if you're still alive, they can't take your wife. Right? So that's why, he was afraid that the fear of Yahweh wasn't here in that place. Read.
And they will slay me for my wife's sake.
Right, they will slay me for my wife's sake. Read on.
And yet, indeed, she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother. And she became my wife.
All right.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know, right? Here we go.
Here come another doctrine.
Here come another doctrine, right? Go ahead.
Verse 13. And it came to pass, when Yahweh caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said unto her, this is thy kindness which thou shalt show unto me. At every place whither we shall come, say of me, he is my brother. And Abimelech took sheep and oxen, and men servants, and women servants, and gave them unto Abraham, and restored him Sarah his wife.
So even though he gave him back his wife, and he still gave him, gifts for, I guess, for all the trouble that they went through. Right? They restored all the stuff that they needed to have with him. Read.
And Abimelech said, behold, my land is before thee.
Right.
Dwell where it pleaseth thee.
Right. Read on.
And unto Sarah he said, behold, I have given thy brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Behold, he is to thee a covering of the eyes unto all that are with thee, and with all other. Thus she was reproved.
Right.
So Abraham prayed unto Yahweh, and Yahweh healed Abimelech, and his wife and his maidservants, and they bare children. For the Most High had fast closed up all the wombs of the house of Abimelech because of Sarah, Abraham's wife.
So Abraham prayed unto the Most High, our Yahweh, and healed Abimelech and his wife and his maidservants, and they bare children. So Abimelech had a wife already, looking for another one? Right?
So, Minister.
Yes.
So in 13 it says, it came to pass when Yahweh caused me to wander from my father's house. So they already had planned that out from the get-go. Because they know how bad, how fair his wife was. So they already had that established.
Right. Oh yeah, that was already established, how beautiful she was from way back. Right? Yeah.
It was established a couple of chapters earlier.
Yeah. Because they know they were going to be after her, so okay, this is what the game plan is. When we go to other countries or other places,
you're my sister. Right. Yeah. That was already the game plan, right? Because they already knew how beautiful she was. Yeah. Read on. Verse 20, chapter 21.
Chapter 21. And also James 5 and 16, the prayer of the righteous. You know what I'm saying? Because Abimelech restored Sarah, and he gave that man, that was like offerings when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because the Most High said, for he's a prophet. He said, now therefore restore the man his wife, for he is a prophet. The Most High said, you messing with the wrong one. You know what I'm saying? You messing with the wrong one. And after you restore his wife, he shall pray for thee. So the Most High knew that the prayer of a righteous, a fervent prayer of the righteous, availeth much. Hallelujah.
Chapter 21.
Genesis chapter 21, verse 1. And the Most High visited Sarah as he had said, And the Most High did unto Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time of which Yahweh had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son that was born unto him, whom Sarah bare to him, Isaac. And Abraham circumcised his son Isaac, being 8 days old, as Yahweh had commanded him. And Abraham was 100 years old when his I had to put some emphasis on that. And Abraham was 100. Keep it 100.
That's it. Keep it 100, right?
When his son Isaac was born unto him.
Right.
And Sarah said, Yahweh have made me to laugh, so that all that hear will laugh with me. And she said, who would have said unto Abraham that Sarah should have given children suck? For I have borne him a son in his old age.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And the child grew and was weaned. And Abraham made a great feast the same day that Isaac was weaned.
Right. So he said a child grew and he was weaned. What does it mean he was weaned?
Off the milk.
Yeah, he came off the milk.
That's it.
So when he came off the milk, what did happen? Abraham made a what? He made a what?
A
Feast.
Made a great feast the same day that Isaac was what? Weaned. Right? Is he going off?
Nah.
Why not? It's going off. Where did the commandment say he's supposed to do that? Because a lot of times people, they get over righteous, you know what I mean?
Right.
There's nothing wrong with, him doing something for his son. He came off the milk, he's strong, he's doing well, and he said, you know what? Let me cook some food, and have some, have a close family over or whatever the case may be, and, and we enjoy the fact that the young lad is off the milk, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Hallelujah?
Yeah.
Right. Even when you read, I think it was Bayath was the one who married his wife and he celebrated his anniversary. Was it Bayath, or it was it's in the book of, I think it's in the book of Tobit. I have to look back over it again. Tobit's father-in-law celebrated his wedding.
Oh, come.
Right. So these things, there's certain things that you do, you can do it in righteousness, right? You just have to remember, not to be a part of this world doing foolishness. Everybody understand that? Right? You ain't gonna go have candy in your house at the end of this month talking about you doing your own thing. It's a righteous thing. No, you're going off. Right? You had a whole bunch of candy and children coming over dressing up. That has nothing to do with the Most High. Right? But if you just had a baby, you want to invite people over, to celebrate your son is off the milk and or day that, he got the circumcision, there's nothing wrong with that. Right. Everybody understand that? It's a righteous thing. Okay? We celebrating life. We're celebrating what the Most High has given us, this wisdom, this knowledge, this understanding. So even in something like this, Abraham was in the spirit. And remember, the Most High called Abraham his what?
Friend.
That's it.
He knew Abraham.
Yeah, he knew Abraham. Read on now.
Genesis chapter 21, verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
Right? 21.
Yes.
And Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, which she had borne unto Abraham, mocking.
Mm-hmm.
Wherefore she said unto Abraham, cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even with Isaac.
Right, so at this point, this is when he cut Ishmael off, and he needed to leave out. Right, they didn't want to make, at this point, she saw the spirit that he didn't, because if he was the oldest, the firstborn gets what? The heir. Right. So she was like, that can't happen. But we know through the Spirit of the Most High that Isaac was the firstborn of his seed. Out of his seed with his brother and his father, that the blessing was going to go through Isaac and later on pass to Jacob. And Jacob to the 12 tribes of Israel. Everybody understand that, right? So Ishmael got his blessing already. He already got his blessing from the time his mother, cried out for him in the wilderness. And he said, you're going to be 12 princesses during that time they're going to rule. right? And them 12 princes still live to this day. They don't live, but their generation, the people after them, are still ruling in this world today as we speak. All right, read on.
And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son.
Right.
And Yahweh said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad,
Right.
and because of thy bondwoman,
Right.
in all that Sarah hath said unto thee, hearken unto her voice. For in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
Right, that's the prophecy that in Isaac the seed gonna be called. So he said, don't get caught up with the lad. Don't worry about it. He's gonna be good. Just let him go. Just listen to what the wife said. So the Spirit came to him and told him to listen to his wife. Right? Because this is what we need to do. You hear out what someone is saying to you. Don't just take a blind eye because that's your wife. You ain't gotta hear nothing she gotta say. You're just a woman. You're a possession. You this, you that. Stay in your place. Shut up. Hush up. Sit down somewhere. That's not the way that we deal as Hebrews. Everybody understand that? Right? A woman speaking to you, hear her out. Sometimes the Most High might use her to whisper something in your ear. And you're like, you know what? That's a good idea. At this particular time, she said that, and the Most High said, listen, I know you feel a certain way because of the lad. That's his boy. As men, we like to have our boy next to us, right, Cut?
And his first
at that, right. So he was like, don't get caught up. Let her go. Let him go. And he'll be fine. Read on.
Verse 13.
Uh-huh.
And also of the son of the bondwoman will I make a nation, because he is thy seed.
Right. So he already said that he was going to be a nation. He was going to be the progenitor of that nation, the father of that nation, which is Ishmael. This is where they pronounce it, Ishmael. I forgot what it means, but Ishmael. And he's the one that's going to leap off that nation today. As we speak today, you see some of the people that are in Saudi Arabia, right? And over there. And they never left their land. They're still there, right? Read on.
Verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
And Abraham rose up early in the morning and took bread and a bottle of water and gave it unto Hagar, putting it on her shoulder and the child, and sent her away. And she departed and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba.
Right, which is still exists today. I think my brother's here from the Fort Lauderdale area visiting us today. Hadar, he's been to Beersheba, right? Flowing when you went to Israel, you went to Beersheba, right? So this area still exists as you speak today. So a lot of these names in here still exist as we speak today. Read on.
And the water was spent in the bottle, and she cast the child under one of the shrubs, and she went and sat her down over against him a good way, as it were a bow shot. For she said, let me not see the death of the child. And she sat over against him and lifted up her voice and wept.
Right, so now at this point she felt like that little bottle of water wasn't going to be enough for both of them. You know what I mean? So she didn't want to see him go, so she just started crying. She was upset. Read on.
And the Most High heard the voice of the lad,
Uh-huh.
and the angel of Yahweh called to Hagar out of heaven.
Right, so the Most High, the angel heard their voice, right, of the lad, of the child, because that child was very important to the nation. Read.
And said unto her,
Mm-hmm.
What aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for Yahweh hath heard the voice of the lad where he is.
Mm-hmm.
Arise, lift up the lad, and hold him in thine hand.
Right.
For I will make him a great nation.
Read on.
But before I read on, you notice how the Most High sent the angel to tell her that he heard the voice of the lad and not her voice? She was screaming. She said she cried out. But the Most High said, I heard the boy. Why you crying? I'm like, that's Abraham's seed. I'm going to hear him. He ain't acknowledge her because she's an Egyptian. Like, She's not
Right,
Abraham, she's not of that kindred, that righteous seed line. The Most High using her, but he ain't hear her. He heard the lad.
Right.
Just want to point that out.
He heard the lad, and he knew that he had to keep the lad safe because he already said the prophecy that
He made a
he was going
promise.
to make him a great nation.
Right.
And that's why that nation is still great as we speak. Right? And if you speak to any of them and you ask them, are you of the seed of Ishmael? They'll tell you, yes, I am.
So listen, man, them guys, they live.
Yeah, I know.
They are still.
Yeah.
The majority of them are a great nation, man. These guys are full of riches, man.
Yeah.
The
You still
evidence,
have
the
those
proof is out there, man. I know them cats in Brooklyn. They own like 3 or 4 buildings. They own every building they own. They got a grocery store at the bottom. If the builder don't have a grocery store, they don't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah. I mean,
And they got like 27 children back home.
listen, when the Most High said He's gonna give you,
Make you a
gonna
great nation.
The Most High said He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it to us,
Right.
right? When we get right,
Right.
He's waiting on us. But some of us are waiting on Him. We're gonna be in trouble. We're gonna run out of time. The hourglass is running out of sand. So we need to we need to get it together. Our blessing is forever. Forever. Everybody understand that? Our blessing is forever. Their blessing is for now. Read on. Forever and forever ever. Yes. Read on.
Verse 19. And Yahweh opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water, and she went and filled the bottle with water, and gave the lad drink.
Right.
And Yahweh was with the lad, and he grew, and dwelt in the wilderness, and became an archer.
Right.
And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took him a wife out of the land of Egypt.
Okay.
Verse 22, the book of Genesis chapter 21, verse 22. And it came to pass at that time that Abimelech and Phicol, the chief captain of his host, spake unto Abraham, saying, Yahweh is with thee in all that thou doest. Now therefore swear unto me here by Yahweh that thou wilt not deal falsely with me, nor with my son, nor with my son's son, but according to the kindness that I have done unto thee. Thou shalt do unto me and to the land wherein thou hast sojourned.
Right. Let me go back a little bit.
Come.
It said, and he dwelt in the land of the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took to him a wife out of the land of Egypt. You see how she went, and she tried to, even still, she was an Egyptian, so she figured to get him to marry, right, to marry an Egyptian woman, right? Not to say, because if you really look at it, he was born out of Abraham, the seed of Abraham, so he was a Hebrew,
Right.
So he wasn't going to go in that direction, so he went in the direction of being out of Egypt. But moving on, and it came to pass at that time that Abimelech and you said Phicol, the chief captain of the host, spake unto Abraham, saying, The Most High is with thee in all that thou doest. Read 23 again.
Now therefore swear unto me here by Yahweh that thou wilt not deal falsely with me.
Right, so he's asking him now, please don't deal falsely with me like he did, saying that, this is your sister. You know what I mean? You want him to be honest with him for right now. Read.
Nor with my son, nor with my son's son, but according to the kindness that I have done unto thee, thou shalt do unto me.
Right, so he wanted to deal with him wisely, with righteously. Read on.
And to the land thou hast sojourned. And Abraham said, I swear.
Right, so he agreed with her. He agreed with Abimelech. Read on.
And Abraham reproved Abimelech because of a well of water which Abimelech's servants had violently taken away.
Right, so what he did, he corrected him on something that happened with his servants violently taking away this well. Read on.
And Abimelech said, I want not who have done this thing, neither didst thou tell me? Neither yet heard I of it but today.
Right, so he didn't know about this thing. This was something that happened and nobody didn't report that to him. Read on.
And Abraham took sheep and oxen, and gave them unto Abimelech, and both of them made a covenant.
Okay.
And Abraham set 7 ewe lambs
Right.
of the flock by themselves. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, What mean these 7 ewe lambs which thou hast set by themselves? And he said, For these 7 ewe lambs shalt thou take of my hand, that they may be a witness unto me, that I have digged this well. Wherefore he called that place Beersheba, because there they swear both of them. Thus they made a covenant at Beersheba. Then Abimelech rose up, and Phicol, the chief captain of his host, and they returned into the land of the Philistines. And Abraham planted a grove in Beersheba, and called there on the name of the Most High, the everlasting power. And Abraham sojourned in the Philistines' land many days.
Right, so then they got that well, and they named that well, they have a name for it. So wherefore he called that place Beersheba. So these names, remember, as we were reading before, every time they conquer something or they go somewhere, they name the place and they will say what it is. What was the name of the place that Lot went when he left out of Sodom and Gomorrah? Zoar, right. And what does that mean, Zoar?
Little city.
Right, little city. So that was why they named it, because it was a little city, so he called it Zoar. That was the Hebrew word that he used, right? So just like here, Abraham and Abimelech have this area where they say they finally took the well, so I guess they got the well back at this point, and now they're calling this place the place of what? Beersheba, right? All right, we're going into the 22nd chapter.
Okay. And also Abraham gave him those 7 lambs,
right,
to basically say like, yo, now we don't owe each other nothing. Like from here on, your guys try to take my well violently, or they did take it. I'm gonna keep this land. You're gonna keep your oath. I'm gonna keep my oath. Now we're set square. That was like the agreement or the contract.
Right. Square things away.
Right.
They mended things up.
Right.
If there ever was something between them, they want to make sure there was no schism between the two.
Right.
So they made sure they gave him a ewe lamb, just like when he took the wife.
Right.
Right. And he said he realized the Most High told me he's gonna kill him. He gave the wife back, and he gave extra. Slakia. I didn't mean to do that. Here's this. Here's that. And he accept my apology. Right. So when the lamb was taken, when that well was taken, they did the same thing. Give them the ewe lambs and they work things out. They mend things up. That's just what we do.
Right.
Right. Everybody understand that? Right. Okay. Read on.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 22, verse 1.
Right. Last chapter.
And it came to pass after these things that Yahweh did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham. And he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take now thy son, thy only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of. And Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his donkey, and took two of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up and went on to the place of which Yahweh had told him. So before we continue, some people look at verse 1 and say, you see, the Most High tempt you. But that's not what the Most High do. When you look up the Hebrew word for tempt here, the definitions of it is to test, to prove you. What else? Yeah, to put to proof or to put to test. So just to prove that the Most High don't tempt, I'm going to go to James chapter 1 verse 13 real quick. Because the Most High is not an author of confusion. The Bible is not contradictive. You got to dig in and look into these words and read it in context. So some people be like, you see, the Most High does tempt. That's not what it says. That's not what it means. Because then why would this be said? I'll read it. This is the book of James chapter 1 verse 13. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of Yahweh.
Right. Start up from 12.
12. Come. This is the book of James chapter 1 verse 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation.
Right. We got to remember that. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation. When temptation comes to you, you endure. You don't fall for the temptation. Read on.
For when he is tried,
right,
he shall receive the crown of life.
Right. When you try, do you know how strong you are? You will receive the crown of life. Read.
Which the Most High have promised to them that love him.
Read on.
Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of Yahweh.
Yeah, the Most High tempt me. That's why I went and got with that girl. No, you can't say that. Right? The Most High didn't tempt you. Satan tempt you. You fell for it. Read on.
For Yahweh cannot be tempted with evil.
You see that? The Most High cannot be tempted with evil. Read.
Neither tempteth he any man.
Read on.
But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust.
You see that? And drawn away from his own lust. Read.
And enticed.
Right. You are tempted when you're drawn away from your own lust. Your desire to have something that does not belong to you. That's what lust is. Everybody understand that? It does not belong to you, desire to have it. Read.
Then when he lust, have conceived it, bringeth forth sin.
Right, because when you lust, that starts in the mind. Just trying to desire something you cannot have, and then after you grab it, you conceive it, you take it, and you bring it. And he said, with that, bringeth forth sin. Read.
And sin, when it is finished,
when it's finished, what it bring forth?
Bringeth forth death.
That's it. The wages of sin is what?
Death.
Death. And the gift of the Most High is what?
Eternal life through Mashiach Yahushua.
That's right. Eternal life through Mashiach Yahushua. Let's go back. Let's go precept. The Most High didn't tempt this thing. Right? Read on. Most High tested Abraham. He wanted to see his faith, his righteousness. Read on.
Verse 4. Then on the third day, Abraham lifted up his eyes. This is the book of Genesis chapter 22 verse 4.
Right.
Then on the third day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide ye here with the donkey, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand and the knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here am I, my son. And he said, Behold, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering?
Right. So the son is right now oblivious to like what's going on here. Did he know that, he was the sacrifice? Read on.
He wasn't stupid neither.
No. What's going on here? Where's the lamb at? What you got going on, Abba? Read.
And Abraham said, My son, Yahweh will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. And they said, and they came to the place which Yahweh had told him of. And Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood.
Right.
And Abraham stretched forth his hand, and took the knife to slay his son.
Read.
And the angel of the Most High called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham,
Right.
Abraham.
Abraham. Read.
And he said, Here am I.
Right.
And he said, Lay not thy hand upon the lad,
Right.
neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest Yahweh, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thy only son, from me.
Right. So at this particular time, he already knew. He said, you know what? If I don't stop Abraham, he's about to take this boy out. Let him go. Let me take it. No, you don't have to do it, man. He already proven himself to the Most High that he will give up his only son, his firstborn, right? That he will give him up for the sacrifice. Read on. 13.
And Abraham lifted up his eyes,
And what did he say?
and looked,
Uh-huh.
and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket
Right.
by his horns.
Right. A thicket in the horns. What's a thicket? Like branches, bushes. You know what I mean? He was caught. Read.
And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son.
Mm-hmm.
And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Jireh,
Mm-hmm.
Jireh,
Go ahead.
as it is said to this day, in the mount of the Most High it shall be seen.
So right. So we know there's no J in Hebrew. So there's no Jehovah, it's Yahweh. Yahweh Yireh. And he says that when he says that Yahweh will provide, that's what that means. Because he provided him the ram at the last moment when he was going to take the son's life. So he took the son away and he provided him with the sacrifice. So what this word means, Yahweh will provide. Everybody got that? Yahweh will provide. When you get a chance, look it up. Read on.
Verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
And the angel of the Most High called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time,
Right.
and said, By myself have I sworn, saith the Most High, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thy only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore. And thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice.
Right. So now he said he's going to be blessed. You're going to be like what? Multiply. Well, multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven. There's so many stars in heaven. You can't count the stars of heaven. Or the sand of the sea. You can't count that. Read on.
So Abraham returned unto his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. Genesis chapter 22, verse 20. And it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham, saying, Behold, Milcah, she have also borne children unto thy brother Nahor.
Right.
Huz his firstborn, and Buz, who was,
Yeah, Buzz. That's right.
and Buz his brother, and Kemuel the father of Aram,
Right.
and Kesed, and Hazo, and Pildash,
Mm-hmm.
and Jedlaph, and Bethuel,
Right.
and Bethuel begat Rebekah.
Rebecca.
These 8 Milcah did bear to Nahor, Abraham's brother,
Mm-hmm.
and his concubine, whose name was Ruamah,
Mm-hmm.
she bare also Tibah.
Stop right there. He said, and his concubine. What's a concubine?
That's a wife.
So what?
It's a wife, but she.
What kind of wife? What do you think? A servant? Could be. Could be like what it is, a lower state of a wife.
Handmaid.
Yeah, like a handmaid, like Jacob's handmaid wives, Zilpah and Bilhah. They were considered concubine. right? It wasn't on a level as the mistress of the house, which is the head woman of the house. So that is the concubine. So he said, and his concubine, whose name was, what's that? Reumah?
Reumah. Yeah.
Reumah? Go ahead.
She bare also Tabah
Tabah,
and Gaham
Mm-hmm.
and Thahash and Maacah. That's it.
That's it. All right. So these are the ones that they bear. So remember, if Abraham called the place Yah will provide. That's the place, and it's located in Beersheba. In the Most High hand, hallelujah. So we're able to finish the portion. Once again, we're here in the Treasure Coast, Port St. Lucie. If you want any directions how to get here, please make sure to reach out, text, call, hit in the inbox, and we will give you the address and all the information that you need to come and worship with us on the Shabbat day. All right, and if those of you that are here, remember your commitment, so we can keep the doors open and keep everything going. And those of you that are online, the water for being online, we send a prayer up for you that the Most High continually watch over you. And let the Most High Yahweh will provide. And I think that's it. Hallelujah. The water for everyone coming out, and you can hit the Cash App if you can't make it here and you want to give the donate to support the troops. Is the $ DLOZ Treasure Coast, right? That's the Cash App, the $ DLOZ Treasure Coast, and you can give to support the troops. Not the ones that are fighting in Afghanistan, but the ones that are fighting over here in America against the atrocities and the injustices that the nation that is above us, that is putting upon us. Everybody understand that? This is what you're giving for. It's not for me to buy a new Cadillac. It's not for me to buy a Lexus, but it's for us to keep the doors open so that we can get young Hebrews in here and teach them how to be Hebrews and be Israelites according to the Bible. Everybody understand that? All right, get the Most High hand again. Hallelujah. All right, with that, Bayath, you can kill it. And we're gonna set up the closing prayer, but we're gonna discuss a few things that's happening